Yeah.
But I'm such a missionary guy. I just
every room is filled with swingers.
Yeah,
every ballroom, every restaurant.
And let me say this: you have dreams of like being hot wax being poured on you.
I do.
And this is the type of place that you can make that happen.
My friend who lives in Minnesota is the one that told me all those great sex stories when we were younger. Remember him?
What about those long, cold winters? Something about that part of the world.
Yeah, I'm so surprised when he moved to Minnesota, because we're from the Southeast. We grew up the same, and he just got a lot more action than I did. And he told, when he moved to Minnesota, I thought, well, he'll last there one winter, and that'll be it. And he's been there now 15 years and loves it. He has really bought into that whole Minnesota lifestyle, that.
Do you expect him to retire there?
Oh,
or
yeah.
return to the South?
He told me we're never leaving. He loves it. They love the ice fishing, and there's a lot of lake life they do in the summer, and they just love it. And they live in Minnesota. In fact, he's investing in this thing. I'd never heard of this, but apparently it's big, at least in downtown Minneapolis. It's like rock climbing indoors, but you don't need any kind of harness or anything. You can just do it, and then if you fall, you're falling on padded ground, and it's safe for you. And every 2 or 3 months, all the patterns change. You have to figure out how to get up the rock wall, and every time you go back, it changes. And he's investing in that. I just talked to him recently. He was back in town over the holidays.
Just struck him a check.
Yeah, I was going to say, this sounds very...
no,
I just need a little bit of support.
No, I didn't.
Just a little seed money, and we'll be off and running.
No, he showed me the plans, but I guess he knew I was a little bit too tight to do that, because he never came right out and say it. His wife said, why don't you just ask him for the money? He sure as hell can't take a hint.
That sounds very much like the comedy classic, The Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
If you remember, the brother-in-law scammed John Candy out of his life savings, but then felt guilty. So maybe on the way back to the cold Midwest, he'd feel guilty and give you your money back.
Well, perhaps I never gave him any money. They also told me, this is Minnesota. We started talking about politics. Trump had been elected and everything. And he said that his wife does not like Donald Trump. See what you would do in this situation. He said the whole state of Minnesota, it leans left, of course, and it voted for Kamala Harris. And where he is, they're in Minneapolis, total left, But when you go out into the more rural areas, all Trump, a lot of red counties. So they are from Minneapolis, and their friends who live like 45 minutes away invited them out to a bar and grill one night, and they were going to meet. They were going to them. So they drove over to the bar and grill, and painted outside the bar and grill was Trump right after he had been shot going, fight, fight, fight. Now, they had driven 45 minutes, and his wife said, I will not eat in this restaurant. And he said, you have to. We've already driven here. And she said, I'll stay in the car. Now, they were meeting their friends there in that county where they had gone, and she refused to eat in a bar and grill where Trump was painted on the side. And I said, what'd you do? He said, I just told them I made an excuse, and they wound up driving back to Minneapolis. They could not. They did not. He called him and said, we're not going to make it after all.
Yeah, we had just both canceled. He didn't go in, leave her out there.
No. Too cold.
Yeah, you can't leave her in the car.
Not in Minnesota.
Not in Minnesota.
Yeah, now, it'd teach her a lesson.
Yeah. You can leave her in the car in Florida. You can't leave her in the car in Minnesota. You're just not doing that. And I said, she really sticks by her principles, doesn't she? He said, yeah, she's really strong about that stuff. I'd have gone right in. They could have had any, I don't care what politician.
Yeah. Are you here for the victory wings? I am.
Yeah, I would have been.
And to drink liberal tears, large. Lots of ice.
Man, she is really one to stick by her convictions, and I don't know that feeling. I'd have gone, I don't care who's Kamala Harris could have been painted right on there. Or anybody, I would.
I'll have the Project 2025 grilled cheese.
And liberal tears as a chaser. Yeah. And no, he didn't.
She'll have to close the border ribs, and even though she's not saying it, she's a rib lady.
Yeah, they take tacos and stuff, just throw them out. They're gone. Yeah. That's all there is to it. Anyway, I thought, well, that's pretty big on her part.
Yeah,
but he did have to cancel on the friends, which is a little. It leaves the friends high and dry, and they're awkward. Yeah, a little bit awkward. But they didn't.
At literally the 11th hour.
Oh, they got to the
There's no
restaurant.
notice.
Oh, they were at the
They're
restaurant.
lucky they didn't pass him.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, she really came down with something. Isn't that you 2 spots over?
I can see your mouth is moving. I can see you talking
Yeah.
to me.
He's in the
Yeah.
He's in the parking lot making the call.
Oh, yeah, she's vomiting now. Vomit. She just vomited all over the floorboard.
I can see her. She's not vomiting.
Yeah.
She looks fine. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to make it.
She's giving the finger to the sign painted out front.
Yeah. Is it our fault? Did we choose the wrong restaurant? Couldn't you just pick Applebee's?
Yeah, could you not just pick something that didn't have Trump's picture on the side of it? She refused. She would not eat it. All right, fine. Whatever.
Here's another hotel story from the long, dark, cold winters of Minnesota. A 39-year-old mom, she's 39 now, will never forget her staycation from 1 year ago. The woman's name is Allison Chardon, and 1 year ago, Allison, her husband, and their 2 kids, 8 and 12, decided to take a break from the everyday, and I think they might live in Minneapolis, but they decided to book a hotel in one of the suburbs. A lot of families do that. They probably had a pool, things of that nature. In fact, I know they did, because Allison at the time described herself as a wife, a truth seeker, a boy mom, a singer, and a foodie. As fate would have it, at the very same hotel where Allison and her family were staying, a youth hockey team was in town from Colorado there for a tournament. And yada, yada, yada. A couple of the boys on the team happened to be in the hot tub when Allison showed up. Now, she's a 38-year-old mom at this time. For whatever reason, there were just 3 of them in the hot tub at this time. Allison began to complain about the state of her marriage with the boys, who were both 15.
Boy, that's a mistake. Why did she think they would have a?
Yeah, they'd have any input at all.
You know how it is, boys.
Yeah.
Don't grow up, boys. Never get married.
Stay 15. So you got these young hockey players and a 38-year-old mom who's upset with her
They're
marriage
1,000 miles from home.
in the hot tub. This can only
In
lead
the
to, this will
hot
lead
tub.
to bad things
Of
for her.
course.
This will lead
Yes.
to terrible
I mean,
things for
red
her.
flags everywhere.
Yep.
Allison told the boys that her husband was abusive, and she'd already slept with a college hockey player.
Oh, she's into hockey. She likes
She has a type.
men of the ice.
She has a type.
Well, college is one thing, but the 15.
Agree.
Okay, that's too young.
Agree.
Yep.
Well, at this point, Allison's husband shows up at the hot tub and says, "Get back in the room or we're done."
I really have no idea where this is going to
These
lead
poor
me. Where is
15-year-olds.
it? Yeah, the 15. Now, are they going to stand up for her, or what's going to
They
happen?
said nothing. They sat mute in the hot tub. Allison got out of the hot tub, went up to the room. A short time later, somehow she had connected to one of the boys through Snapchat.
Boy, she's really getting it on these boys, wasn't she?
So she says, "What's your room number? My husband and I just had a fight."
And what did he say? He gave up the room number.
409. So, just a few moments later,
Here she is.
Here comes Allison. Now there's 3 boys in the room.
Oh, they're not just one, but
There's
3.
3. The 2 from the hot tub and a third.
Okay.
Allison says, starts talking about sex stuff, and then climbs into bed with the 2 15-year-olds from the hot tub. A third watch. He's the Chris Kelly.
Yeah, I'd be too scared to get it. If I have to watch,
you'd
I'd just watch
While
it.
the other 2 were, quote, assaulted sexually by Allison.
A threesome, while the other one watches. They're 15. She's 38. They're hockey players.
Fact.
Now, afterward, do you think they went over to the third and like touch sticks like they do when they score a goal, like touch gloves? You know?
Go.
Job.
Everybody bashes their sticks on the ice.
Do you think they threw their gloves up like after they score? You know how when they score a goal.
Yeah.
You see that? He shoots, he scores.
Light the lamp.
Yes, they lit the lamp.
God.
Man, for them, it's like beautiful. But
Is it?
Now they're 15, so no, it's not.
Yeah.
Well,
Terrible,
I mean,
it's terrible.
obviously times have changed. Had the genders, the double standard is in full effect here.
Oh my God! If they were women, female hockey players or cheerleaders or something,
No
and-
high fives. You
No,
would
no,
you would
no,
have
no,
the man. Any man in that situation, had the genders been reversed, would have been killed in the parking lot and would have been high fived
by the
murderer.
parents,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So the 2 boys were evidently the story got out. I don't know how. They were ostracized from their team. They were kicked
They
off.
were.
They were
They
kicked
were.
off the team, And eventually the coach decided to disband the team for the remainder of the season. Now, Allison, who has been charged with sexual assault, was sentenced to time served in jail, which she did back in January. Community service, mental health treatment. She has to register as a sex offender for 10 years, and she can't be around juvenile boys.
That's the one thing she wants to be around.
It's all she wants.
She can't even watch
They're
it.
the only ones that understand her.
She can't watch Hockey Night in Canada. She can't watch the Avalanche.
No.
She can't watch
the Wild.
She can't watch the Wild. She can't do this. That's all she wants to do is watch hockey, and she's not allowed
Loves
to
the
do it.
Leafs, the Wings.
What? Now, do you think those boys should have been kicked off the team and ostracized? Because, I mean, they're 15. Usually
Well, they came up in a different time.
Well, I know, but don't you say, I mean, there's no fault of theirs, you'd think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They
that's
did
the way
invite the lady into the room.
I agree. I mean, there is a little fault. They know they're doing wrong, but they're 15. The woman is clearly the one at fault.
Oh, she's the instigator.
No question. I kind of feel like in this day and time, you say these boys are not at fault at all, and they're welcome.
I'm really
back on.
surprised they were kicked off.
I'm a little surprised too. Now, just disbanding the team because there's such a scandal around it, you may say, well, there's so much attention to it, we'll disband it. I'm surprised they kicked them off first. I thought you treat. I mean, is that like a little victim blaming because they're 15? I mean, of course they fully went along. We know that. I mean, you know, one came over to watch.
Bro.
Yeah. She's here. But I think a case.
Don't be weird. Can you imagine conversations between the time she called and the time one of them said, "Yeah, room 409."
Oh God,
bro, don't be weird.
Do you have a condom? I didn't bring any condoms.
You're gonna blow it.
Right.
Stay over in that bed, dude. Don't be weird.
I don't know. I'm picturing the third guy as the goalie with all his gear on, like in between the pipes, with the pads on the mask,
Big knee pads,
watching it,
squirting water every now and then.
Yeah, every once in a while. I feel like you could make the case for this victim blame for on the hockey players, even though they clearly were complicit in this. They're only 15, you know. So that's
I mean, they weren't. It's not in the court of law. They were just kicked off their team.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. And when something like that happens, I do see where it's like, well, let's just end it. You know, for the hockey team, that's it. That's it for this season or this tournament or whatever we're doing like that. Man, what an interesting story.